Construction News Tracker is presented by Caterpillar and produced by 4constructionpros.com. The U.S. Senate has completed action on a so-called Minibus Bill. It includes $45 billion from the Highway Trust Fund, which is the FAST Act adopted in 2015, and another $3.5 billion in money transferred from the General Fund. In essence, the minibus combines four appropriations bills, including transportation, housing, and urban development. Among other features of this legislation is inclusion of $1 billion to build grants, formerly Tiger grants, $17.7 billion in FAA funding, and $750 million in AIP discretionary funds. After reviewing the June Commerce Department stats on housing, there's widespread speculation the nation's market for new homes is beginning to ease, with inventory shortages noted as housing starts fell in June by 12.3%. Freddie Mac says it's alarming that single-family construction permit growth has fallen off when millennials are reaching peak age to purchase their first homes. Chief economist Sam Cotter says the imbalance between supply and demand is the reason homes prices continue to rise. By the way, the Wells Fargo Housing Market Index for August lost 1 point to 67. It's the barometer for builder confidence for newly built single-family homes. Caltrans is busy at work restoring roadways around wildfires in Northern California that's become the Golden State's largest in history. Despite only 30% containment, Caltrans says it's necessary for fire crews and support services to have functioning roadways available. The Carr Fire has burned 112,000 plus acres and destroyed nearly 1,000 buildings around Redding. Caltrans says State Route 299 is an important highway to fire crews, emergency personnel, and utility workers, and estimates a bill of nearly $25 million to restore permanent and signage, road damage, remove down trees, and replacement guardrails as 18 wildfires burn, creating one of the worst fire seasons in history. The Dodge Momentum Index moved to 169.8 level in July, a rise of 1.4% from June on the monthly measure of non-residential building projects in planning. The commercial construction component rose 3.3%, while the institutional component fell 1.5% for the same time frame. The well-regarded industry measure has maintained a steady rise since its last slippage in the fall of 2017. Meanwhile, the American Institute of Architects Consensus Construction Forecast Panel has a rosy outlook for the balance of this year and next. The organization forecasts non-residential building to grow 4%, the remainder of 2018, and 3.9% for all of 2019. Chief economist Kermit Baker says the forecast panel is quite optimistic, and if that materializes, it would result in 9 years of consecutive construction growth, while total spending on non-residential buildings would be 5% greater than the last peak year of 2008. An analysis by AGC of new Labor Department data claims that contractors could be headed for economic peril. While prices for construction inputs fell 0.2% in July, months of the steep price hikes, 9.5% over last year, has managed to squeeze out profits as bin costs have not kept pace with reality. And this does not yet factor in the increases of aluminum and steel resulting from tariff impositions. Ken Simonson, chief AGC economist, says that despite the pause in price hikes in July, costs of doing business doubled over the past year for contractors, and they're just now beginning to catch up with those bids. A $1.6 billion construction project to improve Interstate Highway 35W around Fort Worth, Texas is now complete. Years of work between Dallas and Fort Worth managed to maintain traffic flow in one of the highest traveled corridors in the Longhorn State. Capacity was nearly doubled by 20,000 vehicles daily, with reconstructed lanes and new tolling capacity as well. And it's not totally finished. 3 connectors are still in construction, including one that manages traffic flow to busy DFW Airport. A nearly 2,000-foot-long tunnel for a light rail system is broken through under Bellevue, Washington. The Sound Transit System expansion will expand the light rail from downtown Seattle to downtown Bellevue and part of Redmond with 10 stations. Guy Atkinson Construction of Renton is working with a $133 million contract. Crews used a sequential excavation method as opposed to a boring machine for the work, which required sophisticated monitoring of ground conditions. The process keeps workers immersed on a 27-foot, 10-inch deep, 33-foot wide tunnel continuously, removing 72,000 cubic yards of dirt. Completion expected in 2021. Finally, everyone has peak performance potential. You just need to know where they're coming from and meet them there. This is Construction News Tracker, looking over the industry that makes the world a better place, presented by Caterpillar and produced by 4constructionpros.com. Follow us on social media at Twitter using hashtag Construction News, YouTube at 4constructionpros, and on Facebook at /4constructionpros, as the streaming web never ends.